Ahead this half hour, musician, writer, entertainer, and Ringgold City Councilman Randall Franks will be joining us in the guest host seat. Also, Ruby Falls, if you haven't heard, they are back open, and we'll have a chat with our friends from the Tennessee Aquarium. All of that and more coming up this half hour on Let's Chat.
Welcome to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment with Jess Raby and Chip Chapman, bringing you smart shopping tips, community events, and the newest trends. Now, let's chat.
We're glad to have you with us as we continue on this Tuesday morning. It is May 26th. Seems like Monday, yesterday being the holiday and all, but regardless of that, we're glad to have you here. Joining us in the co-host seat this morning, it is Randall Franks. Randall, good morning.
Good morning, Chip. Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
Everything is well. It has been a blessed weekend. I want to tell you, I enjoyed my time, and I miss fiddling. We always have fiddling in Ringgold on Memorial Day weekend, but I brought it along just in case we want to fiddle a little bit this morning.
All right, now that sounds like fun. Before we get really launched into today's broadcast, tell me how Ringgold, despite the pandemic, managed to celebrate Memorial Day.
Well, I think it allowed us to focus mainly on the reason for Memorial Day. We honored our veterans who died in the line of service. Of course, we had our flags up at the courthouse. We had the flags up of the recent additions to our flag display in front of City Hall. We had numerous virtual things go out over the web, from a gentleman playing taps to a thing that I did where I normally host at the 1890s Day celebration. We list and say the names of every person who was an MIA, KIA, or a POW from the various wars in the last century, and we were able to do that virtually.
You know, hopefully next year you'll be able to do it as you've done it in years past, as in communities all around America have, with everybody gathered together, uniting and honoring our fallen service people. So I know that's kind of a tough, having to keep your social distance, but yet everybody wanting to gather together, honor and observe such an important day as Memorial Day.
Very much so. And of course, when I was raised, I was taught it was Decoration Day. Of course, that was the old name for it. Of course, I was raised by grandparents who still, they lost people in World War I. So that was the way they thought of it.
Yeah, and yesterday was the 75th anniversary of VE Day, which ended the combat over in the European theater. So certainly a very special Memorial Day, and more days than one. So there you go. All right, Randall, we're going to keep you around here for a bit, show you a couple of things. Didn't know if you happened to see this yesterday during the NASCAR race, but if you didn't, it merits a look. Generally speaking, you know, when you hit the pit stops at a NASCAR race, you got to be quick, get back out on the track so you can hopefully win the race. But might be a good idea to make sure that all of the equipment is totally away from the car. Have a look at this video. Yeah, I can only imagine what was going through the mind of Jeff Earnhardt. He got back out on the raceway and he forgot to get the car jack out from underneath the car.
My goodness.
Now that would be a scary thing, I think.
It would,
obviously. Yes. Obviously, you've got all those sparks coming up. You're not too far away from some serious high-powered NASCAR fuel. Anyway, he left pit road, still had his car jack under the car, and it did happen while he was under caution, though. So he did return to pit road. Kyle Busch ended up winning that race. Well, probably a good thing they didn't have an open microphone in his car, hot at the time when he realized what he was dragging around.
Probably so, and I bet there were a lot of people trying to scream at him to let him know what was there.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I guess his crew chief or somebody wound up buying a new jack. I don't think that one's going to be usable anymore at all.
Probably.
We have one more thing to talk about as we get into our observance here the day after Memorial Day. Man in Wisconsin got into character, if you would, to thank those who have served our country. And this young man's name is Vinny. Vinny dressed up as one of the Green Army men in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's been doing this for a while, and he holds up a sign that says honk for the fallen heroes. And that was the message that Benny wanted to see spread all throughout the community. Benny's grandfather fought in Vietnam. Many of us know people who served in Vietnam. Thankfully, some came back. Sadly, some did not. Benny's grandfather was an engineer who built bridges for heavy-duty tanks. Benny says he truly appreciates his grandfather's sacrifice. And again, he plans on dressing up as many, many years to come as he possibly can. So, Benny, good for you. Maybe we ought to start a tradition like that down in Ringgold.
Well, I bet you we have a few people who would be very willing to do that, because we have a lot of patriotic citizens who volunteer every year to put up nearly 2,000 flags around Memorial Day. Of course, it didn't happen this year, but hopefully we'll be back at Veterans Day, and we'll see all those
I'm betting
flags
you will.
up.
I am betting you will. All right, one more thing to pass along this morning, and it is a picture of something that'll make you smile. If you didn't have enough to smile about as we honored and observed Memorial Day, take a look at this. Our smile picture of the day comes to us courtesy of Robert Hardy. Robert's dog decided to get out and have a little fun over the weekend playing in the mud. And, you know, whether you're a two-legged dog, four-legged dog, young kid, old kid, everybody needs to play in the mud once in a while. This beautiful pooch certainly did just that. He sends his picture in that makes us smile. So Robert, nice job taking the picture of your cute little doggy. And I bet he got a bath before he got to come back inside. So Robert, thanks so much for sending that picture in. If there's something you would like to see here, all you have to do is go to our website, WDEF.com. That's WDEF.com. And look for your pictures to be submitted here and shown on one of our broadcasts. All right. So you're watching Let's Chat. All right, Randall, I have got a fiddle in my hand. You've got one over your shoulder. We're going to bring the fiddles out here in just a minute and do a little talking and probably a little fiddling. We'll be right back with more on Let's Chat.